Good morning, Delaware County. As you all need to pull out those bingo cards, you may notice this is not Nicole Fowles this morning. Molly Myers LaBadie is back.
Yep. But Nicole's not here at all, so that means it's Hannah Simpson.
It does.
So this is a new combo.
This is a new combo, and we are gonna rock it today. I'm just gonna say,
do.
I love having the experiences. You and Jana, whoever I get, we're having a ton of fun. And with us today, we have Warren. Oh my
Hyer.
God, Hyer. I am so sorry, Warren. It is one cup of coffee down, and I totally forgot your last name before I got there.
Need a second cup.
I was so excited to have you today, too. Warren's coming from to us from the orchestra, and we're going to find out all about what's going on.
Central Ohio Symphony. Molly needs coffee.
Molly needs coffee.
We're going to inject it right into your veins next time.
I drove in from Northern Ohio late last night, and it was my birthday, so I'm going to use that as an excuse as long as I possibly can.
I don't know. I was at the airport at midnight, so.
Oh, Warren. Okay, Warren, you taught me. You taught me. That we'll work together on words.
That's fine.
I need all the words. We're very excited, though. And, of course, we're going to start this morning the same way we always do, with just talking about some books.
Talking books. It's what we do best.
So, Hannah, did you bring a book to tell us about today?
I am on a reread right now of a book that I read in 2020, and I listened to it the first time, and now I'm reading it with my eyes.
Yes.
It is called The Secret History.
Ooh.
It is a classic. It was written in the early 90s, and it is Donna Tartt, Pulitzer Prize-winning Donna Tartt's first novel.
Ooh.
If you've heard me talk about dark academia, dark academia season for in literature and movies and stuff. This is the seminal dark academia novel.
Wonderful. Okay, tell us more about it.
So it follows it reminds me a little bit of Gatsby in that you follow this sort of hapless young man who stumbles upon these kind of wealthy, odd people, and he comes from California to a small college in rural Vermont, and he wants to get into the classics department. And this is a very selective program. He's one of 6 students in it. And they're basically cut off from the rest of the college. And so as this environment, they're under the thrall of their professor, Julian, and they decide to throw a bacchanal. And they go into the woods, and some things happen. And it gets dark, and there are some deaths. But it's also, on the reread, kind of a comedy.
Really?
Like the leader of the group, Henry, he is this very erudite student, but he hadn't heard, this takes place in the 80s, that men landed on the moon. Oh. And you're just like, Henry, how'd you not know that? And they say some funny things that if you look at it through the perspective of how insane these college kids are, you're like, oh my God, come on, guys.
This is the magic of a reread. Going back through and you love that story and you've got those main points down, you know what's going to happen, so you're so much more prepared to see those little tiny details.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of sexuality in that they're like who is gay, who is straight, that sort of thing. And there's one character who doth protest too much. And on the first read through, I was like, oh well, yeah. And the second time, I'm like, oh, come on, honey. We know.
Now, who is the audience for this book, Hannah?
This audience is definitely an adult audience. It is dark. It has. I'm looking up words all the time. I'm so glad I have my Kindle so I can press down on some of these words. Donna Tartt, yeah, she writes very, very heavy literature.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would. This is not really for teens. Maybe a college student and then up. That's who I would recommend this for. And the author does read the audiobook, but I wouldn't recommend that. She has a voice that is kind of up here, and it's you have to get past her voice until it takes you a while to get through it.
So I have an opinion on audiobooks read by their own authors.
Let's hear it.
It is a mainly no, with an occasional yes, but I think you're always going to get a better job with a professional audiobook reader. But every now and again, especially if you have a star, autobiographies, I love hearing Amy Poehler reading her own and things like that. But unless the author has some sort of formal training, I tend to say, let the professional do it.
Agreed.
I do have some that I will allow that I was wrong on, but mostly I think it's true.
Well, and we've got big news out of the audiobook world this week. Britney Spears' memoir is coming out. It is not going to be read by Britney Spears, however. She said there's been too much in her past. She doesn't want to relive it. And so Academy Award-winning actress Michelle Williams is stepping in.
Oh, it's going to be amazing then.
Yes, it's going to be
amazing.
lovely.
And we're probably going to learn a lot from that.
Yes, we are. Anyway.
Well, Warren, I got to say, I'm staring at a really big book in front of you, and I am very curious what you're going to tell us about today.
Well, I brought one of my favorite books, is what I did.
I love
because
it.
I've been so busy, I haven't done a lot of reading. But this is Genesis of a Music by Harry Partch. Harry Partch is a mid-20th century composer, poet, instrument builder,
Yes.
designer of intonation systems, and during the Depression was a hobo.
Oh, this is going to get interesting.
Right, and so he built all these instruments in this book, and this book is a treatise not only on the tuning systems, but the instruments that he built, and I can show you a couple here. Just very unusual.
Wow.
They're one of a kind, and
Oh my.
he really kind of turned the musical world upside down, kind of in the mid-century era. So this is one of my favorite books because it's technical, but there's stories and everything all involved at the same time.
I'm not going to lie, Warren. Just when you set it down and I looked over, sometimes you see someone's book and you just see love
That's
in
exactly the word I was going to
And,
use.
Right.
you know, the cover has been taken care of, but it's got that beautiful
Oh,
age
yes.
and reading on it. The pages are pristine, but also they've been loved.
Yep.
So I have to say, you had me right away. And to add to the hobo, I had an uncle who in the 60s rode the rails from Ohio
Okay.
to California and would just pick up random jobs along the way.
Yep.
I am now fascinated by
Right.
that whole culture of people
Right.
traveling on the rails kind of illegally. I'm not going to say what my uncle's name is.
So a lot of part of that life came into his music.
Yes.
And they're kind of operatic stage productions,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's kind of all mixed together, and it's very unusual. And it's something for a long, long time I've really enjoyed. The book's out of print now, so I went over to my bookshelf and I thought, I'm going to use that one today.
Well, that one, and I'm just going to say the name again, it's Genesis of Music by Harry Partch.
Right.
So if anybody is interested, this looks like a fantastic read.
And you can find his performances on YouTube too.
Okay, and the next book, let me tell you about what I'm reading. I have to say, I am blown away again, and I don't realize the author until I, hear something. I just read Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Such a good one.
I didn't realize till halfway through when she mentioned, now I'm looking at you, Hannah, Daisy
Jones
in the
Six.
Six. I
There
said
you go.
Daisy 6 in the Jones last time. I loved that book because I kept looking it up to see if it was a real band. Well, this one goes into the sports world. I have to say, as you all know, I call sports ball because I can't remember which one's which. But I love the energy of sports. This one is tennis.
Now, do you follow tennis, Molly?
I don't, but I did have a family friend who their son he played as a practice person with Andre Agassi a couple
wonderful.
times way back in the day, which kind of helped me connect to this book a little because Carrie Soto is like the best tennis player the world has ever seen. Her father, from the day she was born, raised her to be the best tennis player. Now, her father, you may sound like that's somebody driving her. She is a driven human being. She loves her father. They have a close relationship. Her mother died when she was young. But Carrie Soto takes over the world. She just shows everybody what she can do. She wins all these records. And then with an injury that her father warned her not to get, she has to leave. 7 years later, there's a new up-and-comer who's coming for her title. So Carrie Soto, as a elder tennis player, comes back because 37's unheard of to be a tennis player. And I don't want to give anything away, but you get into her life, the sports ball stuff. Hey, non-sports ball people, you're going to follow it and love it. Sports ball people, you're going to follow it and love it. So there's a little something for everybody. It's just Taylor Jenkins Reid can write a story.
One of her best female characters too. I mean, she obviously writes wonderful female characters like obviously Daisy Jones and Evelyn Hugo.
Evelyn Hugo.
But what I think about Carrie Soto, because I read
Yes.
this. I am a tennis fan, and I read this in between the Australian Open and the French
Yes.
Open. Is that she's not terribly likable all the time, but you don't hate her.
No.
She's not like she's very flawed. She's very stubborn.
You can see why the world sees her
Yeah.
the way they do.
You
They
root
give her
for
a
her.
name I'm not going to say on radio. But you can see how she got the name, but you can also see it's not who she is.
Yes, it is. It is a masterful work of drawing a female character.
It's wonderful. So highly suggest it if you're looking for just a good. To me, this would be a great road trip book. So
Especially if you have a significant other who you maybe can't agree with something on, if they're
Yes.
sportsy, like that's something I think that they could get into as well.
I mean, I don't know anything about having a significant other that you maybe don't always agree on, but I listen to a lot of Star Wars books on audio, like Star Wars books. So those are not my pick. But wonderful book, wonderful time. I think now we're going to go to commercial, and then when we come back, we're going to talk all about all the things Warren has coming up.
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome. You all missed it, but Hannah just told me she was hit by a puck.
Okay, once I was a long time ago, but this one, it ricocheted. We were at the Blue Jackets game. It ricocheted off the guy's shoulder in front of us and hit Nick's knee, and then I like nudged it to the guy in front of us since it hit him full on. We just caught the ricochet.
Okay. Whew.
I have been hit by a puck for real though.
Hannah,
Yeah, I had a bruised bone in my hand. It swelled up. It was all gross. I'll show you a picture.
you should maybe you should show me a picture. Well, welcome back. We've got Hannah Simpson again as my co-host. This is Molly Myers-LaBadie. I've got Warren Hyer today from the Central Ohio Symphony. Look at me say all the words right.
Got it right this time.
Yeah, I did. And you know, Gage, I forgot to thank you for being on the board with us today.
No worries.
And this is where you can tell I'm not as practiced. I let Nicole just lead me around during the mornings.
We gotta let you
she's so
spread your
good.
wings. Spread those
I
little
know,
wings,
I can
Molly.
do this. I can talk. But while we're talking, I want to talk about what I am so excited. Warren, tell us what the Central Ohio Symphony is up to today.
Well, we have big things coming on this weekend. We open the
Yes.
season tomorrow night. Concerts at 7:30 in Great Chapel on the Ohio Wesleyan campus, downtown Delaware.
And if you've never heard the symphony in Great Chapel, you've got to go here. It is wonderful.
It's a remarkable experience. And not only is it just hearing the symphony, but you're part of it because you're so close to the stage. You
Yes.
wrap around the stage, and you can see everybody easily and just experience. It's a real experience to be there, unlike a really big hall where you're sitting a long way away. There's nobody that's more than 80 feet from the middle of the stage. So.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
You're right there. You're right in the music.
Yep.
You can get lost. Now, I know you've got some really special music coming up.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about what they're
I'd
going to
be
hear?
glad to. Well, we're open. This is our 45th season. We're
Congrats.
calling it the
I
Sapphire
know.
season. Yeah, it's been a long time coming since 1978, and so we're really excited about that. And we're using this opportunity because Ohio Wesleyan has a new president.
Okay.
This year.
Yes,
and
you
so
do.
we are welcoming him to the Delaware community, kind of semi-officially on behalf of the city of Delaware. So there'll be a proclamation to him.
Wow.
The county commissioners are doing that. The Convention and Visitors Bureau is going to present him with a basket from Delaware. So this is our chance to really have the community welcome him. And so we're working with the alumni department, inviting alumni from Central Ohio to come and meet this very, very dynamic new president, Matt Vandenberg.
This sounds like a great experience for anybody even new to the community who wants to
Right.
learn more about their community.
Right, and just what makes Delaware, those partnerships that are real important,
Yes.
particularly between the university and the city of Delaware. You go to a lot of college towns like this, and the university is off on the side. Here in Delaware, it's right downtown. So
Yeah.
there's that energy between both the entire community.
I've been working here for 6 years, and the partnerships in this county
Right.
just keep blowing my mind. How
Right.
well people want to work together to accomplish things, to make this one of the best communities in the nation. It is really amazing to see all that work.
Well, and speaking of partnerships, the library partners with the symphony.
we
That's right.
do.
And I'll tell you about other partnerships, but we partner as an organization all over the city. Our mission is engaging the community through music, and we look to partner with all kinds of organizations, everything from the courts to United Way to the Farm Bureau to whatever we can, and with the schools. So part of the partnership that we're doing now
Yes.
with the library is the Culture Pass program.
I love the Culture Pass program.
And this was kind of an inspiration we found when we found that you were doing the Culture Pass with Franklin Park Conservatory and the Columbus Museum of Art.
Yes.
And our thought was we can do the same thing. So if you are a student, 18 or younger, and you've got a library card, You bring it to the concert, show your library card, and you get in for free.
And just a reminder to everybody, Hannah, what does a library card cost us?
$0.0.
I love to do that in a group of kids to ask them how much their library card cost. And you always have one kid who's like, $1 million. And I'm like, or free.
Well, what's really wonderful, additionally, if once the child shows their card, the accompanying adult, they get in with a deal as well, don't
they get in for just under half price, right?
That's amazing.
And it's, whether it's a grandparent or a parent or a guardian or whatever, they can make that combination and make it kind of a family event.
And it's super influential when you, as a child, get to hear music like this with your family.
Right.
Like, you never forget it. While we were on commercial break, we were talking about, I grew up in Southern Ohio, and I grew up with the Huntington Pops,
Right.
playing on a barge, and I've never forgotten those experiences, hearing them play, and the fact that we have this so affordable and realistic for kids.
Right. And I think what's really interesting, we've offered free tickets from time to time, and we have some that come, but I think it's the fact that they have something that they own, a library card that they can leverage to get inside the door. I think that's really what makes it work. And we have them line up at the door.
I love it.
So it's really a great experience. So as I say, we're starting the concert on Saturday night. It's at 7:30 in Gray Chapel. Tickets are available online at centralohiosymphony.org. You can call the office or just come in, and we have tickets available at the door. But the program is really interesting. We are starting out with Jennifer Higdon's Cold Mountain Suite, based upon the book and the movie and her opera. And we were one of the commissioning orchestras, one of 38 in the country. Unfortunately, Jennifer isn't able to make it due to some health issues. But so we are doing the Ohio premiere. It's never been heard in Ohio before. So we're really interested in doing that. We have a new violin concerto. It's only the fourth time it's been performed by a South American composer, Miguel Aguila. And the soloist is an international level violinist. I just picked him up at the airport last night.
Oh, wow.
Guillermo Figueroa. And so he will be playing it. And it's a really exciting piece. It's kind of a story piece, kind of a journey through music. Through music. If you like Scheherazade, you're going to like really parts of this.
I love Scheherazade.
Yes.
I have a storytelling background, so you got me there.
Okay. It's a great story. It's all outlined in the program. So if you like stories, it's a great piece.
I love stories.
And then we're ending with Camille Saint-Saëns' Symphony No. 3, which is actually known as the Organ Symphony, and we use the great organ in Gray Chapel to finish it off. Everything, he'll pull every pipe out. It's loud and powerful. And just very, very exciting way to end a concert.
If you've never heard an organ being played in a place like Gray Chapel, it is life-changing.
Well, and this is no small organ. This is a huge organ, has 4,600 pipes in it, and you'll hear everything. It's really amazing. If you are familiar with the movie Babe,
yes, I very much am.
And that's the Organ Symphony.
Are you kidding?
That's it. So.
Okay, well, I know what I'm going to be watching this weekend.
Yeah.
That'll do, pig. Never stops touching me right in the heart.
It will be will be live streamed through the Ohio Wesleyan YouTube channel. You can go look for Central Ohio Symphony and tomorrow's date, and you'll have it live streamed.
Is there anything you don't do for the community?
Well, I'm sure there are, but we try to do as much as we can.
Yes. I know we had you at the Kiwanis Group. You were talking about some other partnerships outside of the library that you've got. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who else you're working with?
Well, we actually have a partnership with Carnegie Hall in New York.
Are you kidding?
Nope. We actually do a program called Link Up. In fact, as soon as this is over, I've got to go back to the professional development for the teachers. That session's actually happening right now. But it's a program that we do for fourth graders.
Yeah.
And the fourth graders don't come and listen to a concert. They all learn the curriculum during the year. They learn to play the recorder. They learn all the music, the dance pieces, and they come and they actually are part of the orchestra. So during the performance, which is in May next year, there will be 900 performers in Gray Chapel all playing together.
That is amazing.
It's an amazing experience.
Warren, I've got to ask you, what gave you the bug to love music? Your energy literally bounces off me.
Well, thanks. I'm not sure where it came from. My brother actually teaches or has just retired from the University of Wisconsin as a music person. I think there was music in our house to a certain degree, but somewhere along the line it just clicked.
It's just amazing when you meet someone who that is so natural for. I'm actually a little tone deaf. Not a little, my husband would tell me, very, very, very tone deaf. I took 8 years of piano and I can't play anything, but I love music.
Great.
It fills you up and keeps you from having to have that separation of, music people or non-music people. And now I'm seeing the time, so we're getting towards the end.
Well, thank you so much, Warren,
Yes.
first of
You're
all.
welcome.
And so that is tomorrow. Don't forget, if you have a little one or a student, you can bring them to the symphony. And your offices are now on Central Avenue.
You're right. We're in the old sheriff's residence in
Wonderful,
jail. I was
sir.
going to say that any age is welcome.
Of
Yes.
course.
We had one lady who came in to buy tickets, and she said, I'm bringing my mother with me. She's 102.
I love this.
That is incredible.
So any age is just fine. We've even had infants come.
So if you have never had this opportunity to see the Central Ohio Symphony, tomorrow night is the night to, start your love of our local symphony. Just come on in, get a ticket, bring your library card, kids, show your parents the way.
And the first of 5 performances this year. The next one's in November. We have the holiday concert in December. In March, we have one of the world's greatest trumpet player right now coming back in.
Wow.
And then the final concert will be in early May.
That's fantastic. I am really looking forward to getting in myself this year.
Great.
And Hannah, we have a few things coming up. Is there anything you really want to talk about?
Well, this week is National Friends of the Library Week, and we've been loving our friends, and they
We
have
have.
a book sale tomorrow and
everybody,
tonight.
you
and
better
tonight.
get there. You talk about deals. Their bag of books, you can fill as many as you can get in there, and they will egg you on.
Oh, they will.
Oh,
They
yeah.
will. So that is at the Delaware Library. There is one, and I do believe it starts this evening.
Yes.
And then tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., come on in, and there'll be books.
It'll be amazing. I think we also have coming up at the Orange Branch Library, Fun with Forensics. This is going to be for our tweens, 6 to 12. That's today. See, this is why somebody has to hold my hand here. Today, it's ages, tweens for ages 6 to 12. And children examine a crime scene, collect evidence, learn forensic science. Now, I personally, I'm going to support this one. My dad used to do stuff like that for a living, and there are clues in our world everywhere we go.
And schools are out today. It is like Central Ohio
Yes.
Teachers Day, so the teachers are at school working. You got the kids at home. Bring them into the Orange Branch Library at 2 p.m. and solve a crime.
You're
Get
going to
those
have a
critical
blast.
thinking skills. It's
Yes.
fun, and they don't even realize they're learning.
Nope, not at all.
Next week, we're getting teens who have the writing bug or are very creative. We're going to get started thinking about NaNoWriMo, which is National
I love
Novel Writing
NaNoWriMo.
Month. That's November. So we're going to start thinking about it next week. And we're going to talk. It's for teens and tweens. Come on into the Orange Branch Library. And we're going to start with planning how we start to write a novel.
And if you want to know the truth, it's just fun to say NaNoWriMo over and over and over again. Okay, and with that, I have to say thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you in the stacks.